Again, yo, everyone, the Starlight Let's Player is here, and welcome to part 7 of 7 Pirates H. So, this one's going to be a bit shorter, considering that we're only going to be going through one boss fight, as well as completing a few objectives. So, as you can see, I've already completed some objectives, and I've also completed the next objective, which was the 10th Let's Make a Deal. And that's going to give us the 7th torn map, which will lead us to the next area in the map, and that's gonna be the Weathered Ruins. But before we actually get to that, we have to get to, well, actually, no. The 5th one, the Let's Make a Deal 5, that is gonna lead us to, that will lead us to the Weathered Ruins. So yeah, but before we actually get to that, we have to complete the objectives, which I already did. But so we were able to get the 19th torn map, and now because of that, we were able to unlock the Weathered Ruins. And there we go. We've unlocked a new area. That's the Weathered Ruins, which will be the next place to where we can get our 6th treasure. Because in the last part, we faced off against Doria, and she had the 5th secret treasure. So we got 5. Now we got to get the 6th one, and once we get that, we'll only have one more treasure to go. Yeah. There's one thing that I'm willing to show off in the next part, because I forgot to show. Because there's actually one thing that you can do. You can also break eggs in order to unlock certain items that you'll need. It can be extracts. It can be certain items like the potions, or any other items that you can obtain. So right now, once again, I am increasing my character's stats with the booby training. You know, I can already tell that if they actually implemented a system like this in Neptunia, people are probably just gonna come to whine. They're gonna complain about it, saying it's too much fan service. When you gotta realize, Seven Kagura has a lot of fan service, yet it is still telling a story. Like, these games still tells stories. You might think Peach Beach Splash is nothing but a fan servicey spinoff, but no, it's actually have a story. It is a story it's a story that centers around the great evil Yoma. And I feel like, and this was also, Peach Beach Splash was also a game to actually, you know, break the barrier. Like, instead of having like instead of having all of the hack and slash formula in the main games, like during the main games, they decided to switch it up a bit to make it like a first-person, not a but a third-person shooter. And to be fair, I'm not really much of a fan of shooters, first person or third person, which is why I don't really get into Call of Duty a lot unless I have my cousins over, then we can play some Call of Duty. But and I don't do Fortnite either, so that's out of the question. I think Fortnite, in my opinion, it's a lame game to play. Like, the game's I wouldn't say the game is already. I wouldn't say the game is dead, but it's still growing extremely strong. I just don't find much interest in the game, in my opinion. So, you know, going into a third-person shooter like Senran Kagura, you know, I can have fun with this because one isn't really that competitive, and two, like, come on, a bunch of girls playing with water guns in a competition. Like, how can I not jump on that How can I not jump on that bandwagon? Just like I jumped into this game, even though, like I said, I'm not a big fan of RPGs, and the only RPG series I follow is Neptunia. But I did pick up this game, which is Seven Pirates H. I picked this game up because of mainly not just because of the amazing fan service, but I was also curious as to how this story would actually go. And I do think it's a very entertaining story to go through. Nothing too complex, just a simple pirate story of them trying to find all the treasure together. So I can really appreciate that a lot. So yeah, even though video games can have a lot of fan service, it can still have a very decent or very simple or a very plot-driven story. Like Neptunia V2 had a lot of fan service, but that game also had a plot. It also had a plot deep. Dang, I forgot. Yeah, it had a plot-heavy story to go through. So, yeah, that's why I appreciate the balance that they can go with when it comes to some of these games. So once again, we're going through an event. You know, I kind of relate to Poron a lot. This girl just want to relax in her room, just like how I'm relaxing in my room making these videos. Oh, to be fair, it doesn't hurt to go outside. It doesn't hurt to go outside for a while. You know, just to, taking the scenery and just enjoy the nice breeze, the nice sun. You know, as long as it's not too hot, then I can actually get down with it. And I feel like with summer's almost over and fall coming on the horizon, I can actually I can actually see me going outside a bit more, you know. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the weathered ruins. When I first got into this dungeon, I believe, well, even though it's mostly just a ruin. When I first got into this dungeon, I had like a lot of problems. I had like a bit of a hard time trying to figure out where I need to go, because I feel like it did feel a bit mazy, but as I kept playing this game, as I kept playing this game, starting to figure out the actual path that I need to go in order to get to the actual event. And there's not really not much going on with this dungeon. Although I will admit the music is nice. That's one thing. The soundtrack in this game is pretty good to listen to. Like, you should probably know, seeing that I've uploaded two remixes of two of the songs from the soundtrack. But anyway, we're finally gonna face off against the next monster girl, and to take the 6th treasure. One thing I forgot to also mention is that, you know like how in other RPGs where they give you the ability, they give you the chance to actually do sneak attacks, so that when you actually run into an enemy from behind, you be the one to attack first. And 7 Pirates H has that, but the problem is the reactions that these characters get is like, their reaction time is ridiculous. Just when I'm this close to attacking them from behind, they they turn around the moment I'm about to attack. That can get a bit annoying, and that shouldn't be fair. That should not be fair. Like, if you are behind the enemy and you are about to attack them, then they have to give you the chance to attack. I wouldn't say give you the chance, but you have to attack. If you are running behind the actual enemy, there's no attack button, so you can't really. You have to walk right behind them in the hopes that you'll be able to get a sneak attack. Either way, this is Garnet, and she's a gargoyle. How do you say this? A gargoyle monster girl, and she's the guardian of the 6th secret treasure. You know, when I first saw her attire, I don't know, in my opinion, it kind of looked a bit thottish. This girl, like looking at her chest, I couldn't tell if what she's wearing was actually tattoos or it's actually just chest plates, like just thin chest plates that's covering her nipples. So and not just that, but the pants she's wearing pretty much covering half of her booty. You'll probably see once you look at the thumbnail of this video, but either way, out of all the designs of the four new Heavenly Kings, which will be soon, I actually think Garnet's design is a lot better. Like, I like what they're going with Viera, and the same can also go for Mimi. I just didn't find that much appeal to Doria's fit. Maybe she finds something that's like more, maybe that can be a bit more interesting. Maybe I'll put her on the same level as Riviera and Mimi.
私はさっきからガーネットに親近感が湧く。遺跡に閉じこもってる引きこもり仲間だ。こんなに話を聞かない連中は。
But though, not gonna lie, she looks pretty good with the glasses.
あなたたちは海賊よ。あんたが宝を守護するものなら、私は宝を奪うものよ。だったら余計なこと言ってないで、早くかかってきなさいよ。なんかめちゃくちゃ怒ってる。これも私の時を思い出す。
Yeah, except she wasn't that pissed. Hey, just look at this. But anyway, we're facing off against Garnet, and my god, she has to be the most annoying one to fight. She has to be the most annoying one to fight. Like, I've said what I said about Riviera and her constantly spamming that splash vault every time it's her turn. But for Garnet, every time you attack her, whenever it's her turn, she automatically recovers her health, and that can get pretty annoying. Like, you have to make sure your character's stats are up to a fighting chance against this chick. Because she automatically regenerates every time it's her turn, and that can get annoying. And trust me, it's gonna get more annoying once we get to the later fights. Once we get to the later fights. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! She defeated Pout, and now she gets to go again after that. Like, am I missing something here? Either way, we got Sakura aroused. Now I gotta revive Pout. Thankfully, I still got smelling salts. And given how easy it is for these characters to actually increase their stats, you'll have less opportunities to actually use the smelling salts, which is a good thing, because you want to preserve your items, you know, just in case you face off against the bigger, you know, the bigger and badder foes. And the reason why I said this one might be a short one, is because, for one, we're just going through this fight, and two, the fight against Garnet is not really this long. So I can appreciate that. Ooh, now I got Rindo aroused. That's good. And just like the other fights, I gotta charge up that Oton cannon in order to finish her off completely. Because again, I have to remind you that if you use this attack, I have to remind you that if you don't use this second time, then she's gonna recover her health, and you have to go through the process all over again. You can't attack her. You can't use the Oton cannon when she still has some health left. You have to make sure her health is completely at 0, and then use the Oton cannon. But yeah, after increasing their stats, I've also unlocked more skills for them to use. So I've used the Hungry Heart from Sakura. This sucks. Like, I used one of Porn's strong skills, yet it does a measly 19 damage. And still, she's not giving us a run for our money anyway. And because of that, I got powders are aroused. And I like how everybody, I think because they're aroused, except for Porn, everybody pretty much resisted that attack, except for Porn. Either way, we're gonna use the Falcon Dive. Hopefully this will do more damage. That'll give us more of a chance to actually finish her off. And yeah. You know, like individually, I think these fights against these 4 characters aren't really so bad. I still find the fight against Garnet the most annoying one because of her health regeneration every time it's her turn. Alright, I've decreased their health. Now I have to charge up the Oton Cannon one last time, and this should be enough to finish the job. And I gotta admit, they do know how to rock some cute swimsuits when they were doing the booby training. But that's gonna be it. Garnet is defeated. We are now able to take the 6th secret treasure. And we got some training extract from that too. You know, at least her weapon makes sense. With Garnet using a giant axe, it actually makes sense. With Porn using a giant hammer, that also makes sense. I will still acknowledge how wacky it is for some of these characters using other items as weapons, like a goddamn key, a giant shovel, and a giant fork. Though to be fair, the Devilman actually used a giant fork back in Dragon Ball, so I'll hold my kid, and I can put him on the list too. Like literally, like, and I'm not saying all this in a bad way. I say it's wacky, but in a comical and funny, but in a funny and a good way. I mean, it's no different than it's no different from Jorgen von Strangle using this giant wand in the Fairy appearance. But anyway, we now have to complete some more requests in order to get to the next part of the map, and that will lead us to the final secret treasure. Yes, these next two Let's Make a Deals, they're from a different yeah, they're from a different location, which is the next location to our final secret treasure. But before we actually have to get to that, we have to complete some quests. The first one we have to do is the training for dummies, and we have to get certain items. We have to get some items from some of these enemies that we already had to face off against. And it's not just the Boobykin that has a head shaped like tits, but it's also some of the enemies as well. Like the golems, their heads also shaped like boobs. You have the enemies in the UFOs. Their heads are basically just a pair of tits. They are really going down. They are really driving the whole theme. They're really driving that theme all the way down to the ground. But either way, we completed training for dummies. Now we gotta go to another. We gotta go to another one, which is let's make a deal 6, and that's gonna lead us to the next area, which will be the Twin Peaks volcano. So we've completed that request. I'm gonna turn this in. Got the tournament map 8, and we got new requests. And yeah, you really don't have to do all of these requests. Like the majority of these requests are completely optional. But anyway, we've unlocked the Twin Peaks volcano. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Stick around for part 8. We're gonna be heading to the pink. I'm gonna head straight to the Twin Peaks volcano to get that final treasure. But until then, it's Starlight Let's Play signing out. As always, Goki Genyo, and have a star-tastic day, everyone. I knew I would fulfill my dream, yeah. They knew I started from the bottom, now I made it, yeah. The possibilities are endless, yeah, I say, yeah. I got the rules and I got everything I need, yeah. And now I'm chilling with a pretty gentle lady, yeah. She got a kind of gentle personality, yeah. She got them curvy hips and a booty for booty.